We start by taking, it could be anyone, but people who are motivated to give back to the students who you want to, number one, help build that fund so we can, help more students financially like Sarah and like Angela. But then number two, which is, building on what Fabio said earlier, was allowing them to give more of themselves, their time, their knowledge, their networks, by connecting them with the students, allowing them to be their biggest fans, cheer them on.
Welcome to Rochester Business Connections, powered by Balbert Marketing, LLC, where I get the chance to chat with Rochester, New York's very best business owners, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders. I am your host, Ben Albert. Don't forget to subscribe, and remember, we don't do advertisements. My fee for this show is simple. If you gain value from the episode, personally share with a friend and explain your favorite part. Let's get started. All right, everyone, welcome to Rochester Business Connections on the Real Business Connection Network. I am here live with a dynamic duo. We've got David Gonzalez and Favio Osorio. What's up, guys? What's happening? How we doing today?
Hey, Ben, happy to be here.
Thank you so much for having us.
Dude, I'm honored. I love what you guys do. The listener is going to understand so much more in a moment. I love what you do at Arbol, and I want to give you the opportunity. I know you're kind of like democratizing opportunity. That's kind of like the buzzword, right? What is democratizing opportunity? What do you guys do at Arbol?
Yeah. In short, Arbol is a platform that helps low-income and first-generation college students stay in school and graduate by connecting them with financial and community support. So in the US, there's over 8 million low-income college students and only 16% graduate. Main reason why isn't because they're bad at school. It's because their basic needs aren't met. 60% are either food insecure or housing insecure. So, Favio and I kind of having similar experiences going through college, we came up with the idea to say, hey, there's all of these underestimated students out there that just need a little bit of a boost. And, the bank's not going to do it. Right now, no one's doing it. So let's go ahead and see if we can put together a financial vehicle backed by community to help these students. And that's what we've done.
I love this. Were you guys underestimated students yourselves at one time?
Yeah, I think in our own ways, I think.
I'm here to listen. I mean, feel free to tell me your story. I think people learn a lot from your story in itself. So.
Go, David.
On my end, I attended Buffalo State College. I was the first one in my family to go to college. And I went in there with all fervor and then quickly learned that there's a lot of things I wasn't really prepared for, like balancing school. I played college football and then working to pay for my life expenses so I can stay in college while also trying to maintain a good standing in school. That was something that was new, right? I've never really been on my own. My parents never went to college, so their advice kind of only went so far. And then, it was kind of a little bit of a grind and it was stressful for a while. I looked around and seen some of my teammates as well, just kind of like disappear, not come back. And we got a lot of kids from, inner city New York or New York City, like the Bronx. And, they would come from a little bit rougher neighborhoods. And when they'd come in, do well for a semester, both in school and on the field. And then all of a sudden, they wouldn't be able to afford their plane ticket back to Buffalo when they went home. Some of them would ask me, every semester I had someone staying on my couch and say, hey, look, I can't afford, I have nowhere to go. And we would say, yeah, absolutely, Jose, stay with me. And yeah, that was kind of my experience. Then fast forward a little bit, when it went time to get that kind of first job, it took me a little bit. I didn't have that network built in. And I was looking around and saying, hey, look, I'm going for all these internships. pretty good student. What's happening? And then when I asked some of my peers how they're getting them, like, oh, my dad, is the CEO at this company, and he introduced me to so and a lot of similar stories. And then I just kind of learned over time, like, hey, look, there's a lot of disadvantages that you experience. And my story isn't even some of the most extreme. And Fabio has a pretty cool story that's that's.
Let's hear it, man. Let's hear it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think there are a lot of commonalities between my story and David's. In my case, my family relocated to the U.S. when I was 13. And when we moved, we had no money, spoke no English. It was tough at the very beginning. We were trying to adjust to a new system, right? A system that we were trying to get acquainted with from the very beginning. So it took us time to get established. It took us time to, get a history around like being able to afford certain things, or, like a credit history, if you will, right, within the financial system. But my parents had this idea that, having a good education can help pay the best dividends in the longer term. Mm-hmm. Neither my mom nor my dad finished their college education back in Peru. My mom wanted to be an engineer. She didn't complete that. My dad wanted to study law. He didn't complete that. But they instilled in me and my brother, I think, a desire to get an education, work really hard, set some goals, and try to achieve them. So I was really lucky that I got the opportunity to go to school. But immediately, as soon as I got there, I realized I didn't have many of the resources that other people had. One is I couldn't afford buying books. So what I would do is I would reach out to my friends and say, hey, I know there is a quiz coming up next week. Did you mind if I borrow your book and photocopy the pages I need to read? Right. So that would be like, 5 cents, 10 cents, right? That's how I would save money. And then every semester I would run out of money. So I would always need to go and ask my friends to buy me food. So I thought that my situation was really challenging until I met other students who had even more challenging situations and were extremely talented. But they always face the same financial challenges. So for me, it was always about this conversation around money, like anxiety around money. But fortunately, I had a good support system that helped me overcome that.
I love this. And this is just 2 stories, guys. There's millions and millions of stories just like both of your guys's, right? I mean, this is not an uncommon thing. I feel like you'd have to be an idiot to realize this isn't an uncommon thing, not to be insulting to anybody, but this is a worldwide and definitely in America, especially worldwide problem, right?
100%. And, just to broaden it out, let's just start with the Western New York area.
Please.
One thing, we're in the heart of the Rust Belt, right? Buffalo, Rochester. Mm-hmm. And, we've been, it's a hardworking middle-class economy, labor-based economy. And recently that's, I would say, over the past several decades, that's shifted completely from labor-based to knowledge-based. And what's happened is it's decimated that bridge between lower class and middle class. It doesn't exist anymore because, my grandfather came from Puerto Rico to go work at Bethlehem Steel over in Havana. And, he came with nothing, built something for himself, established a little bodega, had established a family. My dad then worked at a factory over in Lockport, Delphi Harrison, which is a subsidiary of GM, and then ultimately gave me the opportunity to go pursue an education. But that's now gone. Like, you can't really create that, create personal stability, build a family, and even put yourself on the path to create wealth anymore. So now going and getting an education or getting the knowledge that you need to participate in the labor force is even more important. Mm-hmm. And that's why we're really passionate. That's why we're starting with the talented college students who come from low income backgrounds and make it that far. Because we need to be able to solve creating that bridge again, so then we can let more people walk across it. So that's kind of where we come out from it. Looking at it, it's not a problem just in the U.S. It's a problem that all mature, even the mature countries are dealing with, right? Canada and the European countries as well. You're starting to see that bifurcation between the upper class and lower class, and then a big part of it is that who can invest the time and resources to be able to get that education so that you can be competitive in a much more knowledge-based workforce. So anyways, that's kind of what we see, and that's a trend that we're looking to buck a little bit.
One thing that I would add, I think we all have one person within our network or immediate network, right, of friends and family who is like, oh my God, this person is a rock star. Like, this person is going to come up with something like a brand new idea that is going to solve the biggest problem in the world today. And then it doesn't happen, right? And in many cases, it's because, this individual faces financial challenges. Those are the kind of people that we want to support. We have this, we believe that many of these students are equipped to make a huge impact in society, in that community, here in Western New York, but all across the nation and all across the world. Those are the kind of people that we like to support.
And we should talk about exactly how you do it. I love what you guys do. I love the analogy of the bridge. What's kind of swirling through my head right now is some people have private jets, or at the very least they can afford, plane tickets, and they'll take that plane and they'll go over. They don't need a bridge. Well, some people need that bridge, or else they're not going to get there. And is that fair? I'm not telling someone to get rid of their private jet, but shouldn't that gentleman have an opportunity to at least to have that bridge to get to the same spot, even if they have to go the long way, even if they have to go the hard way? How do you provide some of these opportunities? Like, what is the support available? What does all the tactical stuff look like?
Two ways. We need to provide students with both the financial and community support. We'll start with the financial. So, students that go to college, especially from low income backgrounds, all the way up until like that kind of missed middle. A lot of my friends, again, come from middle class background where they had 4 peers and they were the 4th one to go to college, and all of a sudden mom and dad can't pay for college.
Sure.
But to go back into your question, we provide financial support. So for the students, we help them. We provide them with a needs assessment, which takes a holistic view of what their financial situation is, taking a look at everything from how much their college bill is against how much financial aid they have, to how much they need to pay in living expenses and student or education related costs that aren't covered under financial aid, and then get them a number. And say, hey, here's how much you need. A combination of maybe working a feasible amount, and then also us being able to provide a micro grant. We are then able to keep the student in college. So it's making sure that the student providing them financial balance. So making them understand, or helping them to understand how much they need on a per semester basis, and then also providing them the funds to be able to be successful. We also bring in the supporter network. So you reference a person with the private jet. Well, the cool thing, the person with the private jet, we're asking them to give back and pay that opportunity forward to folks who are hardworking and do want to get to that point. So that's how we kind of create that community. And right now we're targeting first generation alumni that understand, that want to give at least $25 a month towards the students, and it goes a long way. And we're also targeting mission-driven organizations, corporations, and foundations to be able to help build a fund that we distribute to students via micro grant. One other note I'll say on the student side, we provide them debit cards with controls. So we're not just giving them the money in their hands. We're providing some guardrails. So like the debit card will only work on approved merchants. So it won't work in like a liquor store, for instance. Not to say that they can't enjoy themselves, but just we make sure that the donor received money that they have, that they're making sure that they're making good on what they intend to use it for.
Almost like a universal basic income then?
I would say very much like that, yes.
So,
A derivative of it.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that I would add is it's very decentralized, if you will, right? The people that David referenced, right, first generation college alumni, these are folks that can connect to the cause, right? They get it, they get the problem because they were like David and I, right? They were first generation college students, they were under resourced college students, so they can empathize with the problem directly, and many of them currently give today, but there is a community of people out there who don't necessarily give, not because they don't want to, but because when they give, sometimes it feels like they're giving into a nameless and faceless black box. They don't really know how the fund is being used. They don't know what's happening behind this black box. So they want to have a bit more transparency. They want to have a bit more visibility into how the funds are being used. And then in addition to that, they want to have proximity to the end user. They want to know who that individual is. They want to be a little bit more closer, hear those stories, understand how that individual is progressing over time. So ultimately, they're looking for proof of impact, right? They want to know how the fund is actually helping the individual go from point A to point B. And that's something that they're not necessarily getting today, but we believe that we can provide it with.
Give us one of those stories of impact. Give us 1, 3, 5, 10, as many as you have, but give us one of those stories of impact of, a young guy or gal that went through this program and maybe had a sponsor or a funder and just a little bit of the value they got through it.
I'll toss the first one out. We have two prepared for you.
Great.
I'll toss the first one out. We have a young lady from the Rochester area. She's a Black scholar from the Urban League of Rochester chapter. Long story short, she has a full ride. So when she went off to college, she's like, I'm good financially. Then she started to notice that she wasn't. So things like laundry came up, food, the books. She thought because she had a meal card that she had access to food 24/7. Well, when the dining hall is closed, the dining hall is closed. So she was a bit surprised on that situation, and that that financial aid doesn't cover the full cost of attendance. She quickly learned that, and quickly got a work study, but that still only covered a portion because she was limited to only working 25 hours a week. So she knew that she was financially challenged, but she also didn't know exactly what that number needed to be. So long story short, we fostered a partnership with the Urban League Rochester, and was able to come into contact with her through that program. She sat down with Favio, and the first thing we did was kind of sorted out what her financial situation was. And then we were able to get down to a needs-based number, which was about $3,000 per semester. We then were able to raise that money from our supporter network, and then drop the money directly into a debit card, and she's been using that to fund herself through the spring semester, and then she performs monthly check-ins with Favio and I to keep track of how she's going and continue to reset strategically what funds does she need for the fall semester, and then making sure that she has enough for the semester as well. And also she keeps her supporters up to date. So she's been posting regularly on like, hey, look, this is this. We inspired her to write a research paper on low income and first generation students, and she shared that with everyone. So yeah, everyone, it's super cool. That's our first success story.
Let me pinpoint one thing on that. So $3,000 a semester, $3,000, that's not $30,000. But just that little amount of kindness completely moves the needle on her career, right? It gives her so much more opportunity than I think people understand.
Yes, and it doesn't take much. 100%. So that's our first big success story, and she's thriving in school and also expanded her network. Like the first thing she was like, "Can I meet the people who are supporting me?" And we're like, "Absolutely." So she's met up with all of our supporters in our network and is able to foster some relationships that she still is. They're pretty much people who she talks to on a regular basis. They already so. And then we have Angela, and I think Favio's got that one.
Okay.
Yeah, I can talk a little bit about Angela. I mean, Angela had an amazing story. She relocated from Africa to the U.S. to study law, and she left her baby behind. She left with her parents. It was supposed to be a kind of like a short program, but ended up taking a little bit longer because, again, she wasn't getting that financial support that she originally thought that she was going to be getting. But she relocated to Georgia. And immediately realized that she didn't have enough money to be able to cover a lot of the education expenses that come with the cost of tuition, the cost of just attending the school, food, transportation, also sending money back home. That was a big challenge. And she was three credits away from graduating, literally her last class. And this literally happened just about a month ago. And the school, unfortunately, had to drop her out of the class because she couldn't afford paying the college fees, which totaled about $6,000. And these fees were a combination of like the school fees, transportation fees that normally you have to pay to attend the university. And long story short, we were able to partner with another organization, Scholar Bridge, a sister company, and together we were able to again take a holistic view of Angela's situation, understand her inflows, her outflows, identify the financial gap, including that amount of fees, and together we partnered to come in and support her. She had literally a week to pay that money to the school. Otherwise, she was going to wait. She was going to have to wait until the following semester. Right. So she wasn't going to be able to graduate on time. And if you're 19 years old, maybe you have a little bit of time to do that. But when you're a little bit older, you have family, right? Like delaying your education can have a huge impact in your life. So we were able to come in, provide her that financial support. We used that number objectively, and now she's fully enrolled, and she's, finishing up her last class.
It's powerful. See, I'm 30, and I would still be really discouraged. I would be so discouraged if I hit a roadblock like that. It doesn't matter if you're 19, 30, 50. We all deserve that opportunity, right? So I'm wondering, what's the supporter network? Tell me a little bit more about that. How does the supporter network work? Well, what exactly is it?
Yeah, this is where the community aspect of the business comes into play. We start by taking, it could be anyone, but people who are motivated to give back to the students who you want to, number one, help build that fund so we can, help more students financially, like Sarah and like Angela. But then number two, which is, building on what Favio said earlier, was allowing them to give more of themselves, their time, their knowledge, their networks, by connecting them with the students, allowing them to be their biggest fans, cheer them on. So the students create social media, social posts, and those get published directly to the supporters' social feed, and then they're able to keep track of how the students are performing and kind of like the ups and the downs, and then go and be there for them to be able to say, "Hey, great job, keep going," or "Oh, you're having trouble, getting that internship, or maybe trying to figure out whether or not I should take this summer course. Why don't you set up time with me? We can have that conversation." So that's where we augment what we give to the students and to the supporters. Supporters want to give back. They want to make it easier for the next generation. They want to help create that bridge. And then the students also get not only the financial resource, but the human support that they need as well.
When Dave, you and I first met, David, I was like, I'm on board. I don't have much income right now to donate. However, if I can be an extra body, and I know a lot of the listeners are the same way, if you need a volunteer, if you need an extra body, networking, training, workshops, mentorship, are we at that level yet where there's mentorship programs, or is that's near in the future?
Yeah, that's coming up as we approach the summer.
Awesome.
That's something that we've been starting to develop, going all the way back to the spring, or the early spring. And what we're doing is, if you go to growarbol.com, you can subscribe to our newsletter, or our supporter newsletter, and we're building up that audience, and then asking people who want to either give at least $25 a month towards the fund, to be able to support the students.
Right.
Or participate in our mentorship network, which is quite simple. You create a social profile and list kind of like your area of expertise and how you can help, and then allow the students to be able to book time with you and just have a 30-minute conversation.
Well,
Yeah,
hey,
like kind of like scheduling office hours, if you will, like with
Okay.
someone back in school.
dude, sign me up. Grow Arbol, so that's grow arbol.com.
Yes, exactly. Go to growarbor.com, click the supporters tab, and let you everything. And then the instructions are there to get started.
Let's get fun with this, and big picture future. Like, if you could wave a magic wand and all these lingering thoughts and aspirations and all these things you were working on, if we could just inject steroids into all of it, turbocharge it, just wave a magic wand and it would all come true. Where do you see this going? And I know it's not going to happen in 60 days or even a year or 5 years, but if we could wave that magic wand, what does that perfect world look like?
We have a thriving community, nationwide, approaching international, of a self-fulfilling community that is giving back, that is providing the resources, both in time and money, to future generations, people who are looking to, achieve whatever dreams they want to achieve, whether that's going to college, whether that's going to trade school, whether that's going to do something else. That's what the big picture. That's why it's democratizing opportunity, not just, it's extending much broader than just higher education. So, yeah.
What about you, Favio? Equal opportunity on this one. I want to see what you would do with that wand too.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think it would be really amazing to see some of the students that today, just based on where they were born and how they were born and their current situation, were able to overcome the financial challenges. And Arbol was able to, provide that level of support they needed when they needed it, right? By leveraging the community of people that can connect to this, and then see them thrive in the longer term. I think that would be amazing. And then it would be really cool to start seeing those same people give back to other people who are in need today. And I think that right there, I think, is an indication that we've been doing something good. that we are enabling more than just people to give to one another, but we're enabling people to actually add value to each other in a way that it becomes more persistent over time.
Yeah, shifting the paradigm of the country. Enough. The American dream was built by individuals. At least that was the old narrative. It's community based now. Shifting the paradigm to say, hey, look, we can help each other achieve our goals and dreams collectively. And that's a little bit of a shift, but I think Arbol will help us to get there over the next decade.
100%. We can and will help each other. I want to go rapid fire in a moment, but anything we miss before we go to the short, sweet, rapid fire round, anything we should touch on, anything we forgot about today? No is a great answer. That means we covered a lot of ground, but I wanted to give you an opportunity if something's lingering still. I want to urge people to ultimately go to, what is it, growarbol.com? Growarbol.com. And again, did we miss anything?
No, like I said, anyone take the opportunity to say, hey, we are building a wait list for students, and families who think they're a good fit or just want a additional financial and human set of resources can go to growarbor.com and join our wait list. And then supporters who want to give back can go to growarbor.com, click on the supporters tab, and subscribe to our newsletter, and then they'll receive instructions or different opportunities on how they can help out.
I love it. So rapid fire, we're actually not going to do rapid fire in the traditional form. Generally this round, it's just either or, fill in the blank, short, sweet questions. But since there's two of you and we'll be just interrupting each other if we do it that way, I actually want to give you an opportunity to give a little bit of a longer answer. But basically they're going to be simple fill in the blank questions. And we'll get started with, what are you learning right now? Like, what are you guys personally excited to be learning about right now?
My end, I mean, there's so many. Two things. Number one is how to become a more skilled salesman. I feel like I'm naturally, I kind of have like that natural ability to sell, but never really focused on becoming more skilled. So that's been something that it's been a little bit of self-discovery and also a little bit of, okay, let me see if I can kind of sharpen those knives a bit. And then the second is hey, new situation, new environment, new team. So, we have a small team of about 5 right now, and understanding how we can all work together to be able to achieve the common good. And that takes some adjustment. I come from, it takes some adjustment now. So those are the two things that are top of mind.
I want to say one thing, David, because you've got natural charisma, you're smiling, you're dedicated, you have conviction, you actually care. And I feel like a lot of that stuff, I mean, you can train tactics, but you can't really train conviction. You can't really train experience and caring. So if you're trying to learn sales, implement a couple tactics. You've already got it, brother. You already have it within you. It's all about refining that energy, right? Refining that energy, bottling that energy where you're just like a cannon, but you got the charisma, man. Let's kick it over to Favio. What are you learning right now, man?
Yeah, I guess my learnings are somewhat similar to David. So on the sales side, I tend to be a bit thoughtful about my answers or just communicating with people. So I do take a little bit more time to think about my answers, and sometimes I can be long-winded. So I'm just trying to optimize that, my approach to answering those questions. And then the other thing is, so I picked up snowboarding when I moved to Buffalo, and it's been bad because I haven't been able to hit the slopes in like a year and a half. But in my heart, I want to go back out there and start doing it again, because I stopped literally right when I was learning like the most basic things. And when you're up there, it feels amazing. And I get this vision that once I'm able to fully learn how to actually, ride that board, it's going to be an amazing experience. So I'm currently working on that.
You like the adrenaline? You seem like you're a mellow, even keel guy, but I almost see you like on the board just going wild,
I know how to turn it on and turn it off. And but to me, it's a little bit more holistic than that. It's not just the adrenaline; it's the entire experience, if you will. It's being out there, feeling the crispy air, like just looking at the ground, feeling the snow, and being entirely focused. Because when I'm snowboarding, I'm not thinking about anything else. So I love being in that, like on the board in the moment.
We're going to do one more, and I want to make this one kind of interesting and tricky. You guys can take it any way you want. But if you were to take a gift, whether it's a book or an item or even just a thought, the gift of wisdom, and give it to an 18-year-old, maybe the 18-year-old self of you or one of the students you work with, what book or thought or item, what would you gift to that young adult that maybe feels like they're losing their way, but to encourage them that they actually have it and they're actually on that right path?
Yeah, persistence. And the ability to be resilient. Maybe that's two things, but persistence. And I'd back that with a book that's a little bit more inspirational, probably good for a 18-year-old, is by Paulo Coelho. I screwed up his screwed up his name. See, going back to names, but It's called The Alchemist. And it's about a boy who's kind of like going through his own personal journey of self-discovery and kind of has some guides and some life lessons along the way. So I would say persistence backed by a nice inspirational book like that will get people through most things.
I'm with you.
That's a really good answer. In my case, I guess looking back, I think having mental frameworks, I think, is really important. Like how to approach life in general, and if you have a blueprint or some form of roadmap, if you will, that you can follow, or a point of reference, can be really, really helpful for you. A lot of the students that we're supporting don't have that, right? Because mom and dad didn't go to school, unfortunately, so they are not necessarily able to provide it with advice and guidance. For me back then, because I was thinking about exploring a career in wealth management, financial services, The Intelligent Investor by Benjamin Graham was at the very core of who I am. It helped me understand not just how to approach financial markets, but life in general. So it gave me kind of like an introduction to mental frameworks, which is, I guess from that point, it has expanded into many different things. So it became that trigger for me.
You said it's called Intelligent Investor?
Yes, The Intelligent Investor by Benjamin Graham.
So it's so necessary. First off, you can't invest if you don't have the opportunity to. So first, let's give people the opportunity to get the education, to get the care, and then educate them on investing. And that's how we get out of this hole that some people are honestly born into, that hole, right? That's one of the ways we get out of it. Am I wrong? Well, cool. I didn't think I was wrong. I can't get an amen or something, guys. Come on, let's go.
You're not wrong at all.
So it's been fun. I'm gonna support y'all. Let's shout out again. Obviously, there's the website growarbol.com. Where else are you guys on socials? LinkedIn? What if I just want to make a friend and continue the conversation? How do I reach out to y'all?
Yeah, you can reach us in LinkedIn. We have a big community that's growing there. If you just search Arbol, you can find our company. We're also on Instagram, and we're starting to build a big TikTok community. And also go to TikTok to find financial education videos aimed both at students and you might be able to learn something even if you're not a student. So you can find us there. And if you wanted to reach Favio or I, just David at growarbol.com and Favio at growarbol.com. Nice and easy.
Dude, I love what you guys do. I want to be a part of it, even if I'm just a little sliver. I'm sure a lot of the listeners, they want to be a part of it too, even if it's just a little sliver. So I'm happy we had the conversation, and we're going to keep it going. Thanks for coming on the show. It was fun.
Thank you.
I'm going to smash. Thanks for listening to Rochester Business Connections. Don't forget to share this, rate, and comment on your favorite platform. You can also email me, ben@valbertmarketing.com. Let's connect soon. Until then, keep thriving, everyone.